Sitting on the grid, number 9, looking focused once again. He goes. Here we are, though, your starting grid for race 2 of Junior GP, Brian by Rousseau. So, we are ready to go on our warm-up lap. Uriarte originally scheduled to be 16 laps, but after the red flag, it was a 7-lap sprint.
His full. Whether he'll be able to do that again in race 2 remains to be seen, because he doesn't have the data from the full.
As we go racing for Junior GP Race 2, a lift in the front wheel actually from Sylvain Menzi off the line there. So the field, Brian Uriarte does lead the way and lead the field through and slots in to P1. Marco Morelli instantly on the attack. Rico Salme, where races have been won and decided on the final lap and also on the first lap.
And was fighting for P2, and yet although he's about to drop to P4 as Rios comes through.
Even in the shortened 7-lap race, they were still able just to begin to edge way into the distance, into the horizon.
Alongside heading into the braking zone, Uriarte again, no threat from behind at the 16-lap race.
And we do see there a rider down. That's the number 2. That's Rock down on the deck. And, well, Levi's getting on with things and trying to get on the bikes as soon as possible. It seems like Levi Rousseau did get the bike started.
Be disappointed. They would have been hoping to move forward from their starting positions. But, yeah, Uriarte, again, he's just...
Well, Joel Esteban looks to follow through. So Joel Esteban looking to get involved in the mix here, perhaps at the start that we were expecting, really affecting their times.
It is allowing the top 4 to escape. Esteban probably would have expected more when lights went out.
Let's see, that was Evan Belford. So Evan Belford potentially running away there, although we'll wait for them to cross the line.
The 3 riders directly behind him on lap 2.
And now, well, begins as a little with Pratama just ahead of Esteban and O'Gorman at the back of that one, and then just a little gap.
But looking at the gaps, he's lost another 2 attempts on this lap, and he is under huge pressure from finish.
Actually, it was rare we see him make the mistakes, as we see a massive wide moment for Marco Morelli. A few riders behind.
Probably, and we know Morelli will be pushing very hard to try and go with Uriarte, but we see again
the final lap of the race, and that is the 47 now coming into the pits. Dojo Boggio now, that's going to be into reset and get going again at Barcelona for him as the battle does continue. But Brian Uriarte perhaps after getting pipped on that.
Putting up a gap every sector. Now 7 attempts across the end of sector 2. Not this time.
Yeah, not this time around at turn 14. Lines can sometimes merge in some of the other classes. That, well, they're not afraid to hand out 3-second time penalties for exceeding the track limits too many times. If you're within that half a second to the rider behind you will be demoted as, well, Marco Morelli at the moment tally as well. Looking on the outside is Rico Salmela, not able to make a move work this time around though. Trying to keep things nice and calm while he watches all the action in P4 and watching them burn up rubber ahead. Yeah, Sylvain Menzi down at turn 10. Disappointment for the CF Moto Aspar. Get to the end of the race and see the checker flag for the sake of gathering some extra data. Meanwhile, his teammate out on the run to turn 1. He sets it up, he looks up the inside, but just a little bit too far back. We've not seen too till the closing laps because there still is 11 laps to go. So still a nice distance to be ran here at Misano.
Still front of the field.
Yeah, he's sprinted away at the front. He's charging away. And he's, well, not a rider known for cracking under pressure, and it doesn't look like he's going to be doing that this time around, although very, very close once again to the through Carbone we go. All the way on the inside curve was Rico Salmela, and that is a move done.
See if he can limit the damage effectively at this point, looking at the gap. More than 2 seconds across big gap to bridge before they even think about overtaking him.
Rios clearly doing his research here at Misano, sits in P2. The 54 will enter the slipstream now, making the way towards in less than 10 laps remaining. We mentioned how short race 1 was for these guys, but race
this stage, it doesn't look like it with the eye test.
Yeah, well, we'll have to wait and see what the timing of Rios ahead of him. But now we exit the final corner and they'll break the timing 0.5 for Brian Uriarte, a 141.9 for Rico Salmela, a 141.8 for...
Drops much more time. He's not going to have any chance of catching him. It looks like we have the answer to the question about whether Salmela and Rios...
Yeah, a couple of attempts quicker last time around, but only 2.7 ahead. That's pressure just yet, and I'm sure he's had a chat about his engineers, about his feeling on the front tyre, which ain't getting pipped on the final lap. This time, it's his attempt at pure domination. Podium again, and it'll be his first weekend without a podium in quite some time.
Right on the back of Gonzalez. As you say, After the crash earlier, you would think a P5, P6 is it looks like no one has the pace to go with Uriarte, and then Salmela and Rios are quicker than Morelli behind them. On the run into turn 8, is Rios going to make the move? No, he thinks better of it at turn 8.
Salmela, second place in the championship, second place out on track, currently defending his way from a track limits warning. Now, the 97 has to be very, very careful here, because if he does it one more, seeing if Marco Morelli is going to be receiving a penalty, because, well, frankly, at the moment, he's running wide at multiple points.
Into turn 1. If Morelli at this point gets a long lap, it will cost him around 3 seconds, which on the timing would miss.
Yeah, of course, even without penalty of track limits, Dojo Boggio has rejoined in this race of the championship. But of course, yeah, as we said, if Morelli did receive penalties, he would have 3 laps to complete. Plenty of opportunities to make a slight mistake, that's all it is. These junior GP riders on
at the start of lap 10. We'll just see what it is at the start of lap 11 as they cross the...
Well, it proves how hard he's having to push, even at the head of the field. He doesn't necessarily have to, but I think in his head, it's the moments where maybe you back off slightly, that's when you can have a lapse of concentration inside.
No, I don't think anyone would be shocked. He is learning so much about, and it will all be a calculation he's making in his head.
He's quite quick through this final sector, but it's tricky to make the move at turn 14. He would have to be trying to keep the bike on the circuit, it seems, and things begin to heat up. Of course, this is at the point where your tyres are starting to get more and more warm. Goes down the inside of Casey O'Gorman. Can O'Gorman respond at turn 2? The answer is no. Joe Esteban
P8 with that penalty, but there is a big gap, a big group, sorry, with that
penalty. Race 1 winner to P4 runner, and you would have to say that's going to drop. Perhaps he can get himself a top 5 finish still.
If he can use the slipstream of Salmela and Rios just to...
The perfect lap ahead, and the real question is how long does he wait? Number 97 needs to know, and this is the exact moment that he was given it. He ran wide at the exit of turn 15.
Leave it too long, because then if he does need to pass riders, he won't have the time to do it. At the same time, you don't want to say maybe he needs to take it now and then have the chance to pass on track.
Yeah, well, we'll wait and see what he does. We are looking at the pit wall as well and seen that Morelli behind them have a penalty. No, it's pretty much just them two battle away.
The gap between Morelli and Pratama is actually closer to 4 seconds. So if he does take the long lap on this lap...
And you'll have a good eye on that one. But Joel Esteban now ahead of Casey O'Gorman. Joel Esteban close together on circuit. So is likes of Esteban in that group behind. So if you're Marco Morelli, and then also can hopefully, for his sake, get ahead of the likes of Pratama, Esteban, Gonzalez. He does want to get ahead as he comes out now, rejoins the circuit, nice and
through turn 11 and 12. It looked like Salmela and Rios